here, I'll give you another story. There was a guy in the Lucchese family. His father was a captain. His name, the captain's name was Danny Cataya. Danny Cataya's Sal was going to get straightened out, and then, they were checking him out to see if he had the balls to go and do work. And he didn't.
Right.
So what happened was, they were going to take him on a piece of work so he could prove himself. And what happened was, about 2 or 3 days before he's supposed to go and do the work, he's getting cold feet. So he goes to another captain in the family who he had a relationship with by the name of Georgie Conti. And he goes to Georgie Conti's house, and he tells Georgie, I can't do it, Georgie, please. What am I going to do? I can't do it. And he tries to offer Georgie $50,000 to have Georgie go and do the work, because Georgie's a street guy, and Georgie's been known to do a lot of work.
Right.
So he tried to buy it for $50,000 so he can get straightened out.
I don't know if it was the same time period or if it was afterwards, but I mean, if that was the time period that Casso and Amuso were running the Lucchese's, I mean, they were absolute sociopaths. I mean, you would think they would definitely, if they got wind of that, would have whacked that guy out for that,
Well, the whole idea is that it just goes to show you that if you have the power, you can break the rules.
Right.
If you don't have the power, you can't break the rules. You got to follow the rules.
Right.
Look at John Sr. John Sr. killed Paul Castellano. It was all against the rules. But you know what? I give John credit. He was in a kill or be killed situation.
Right.
And he knew he had to kill Paul in order to survive. And he did. But at the end of the day, he broke the rules.
Right.
But he was strong enough to get away with it, because at the end of the day, all the other captains, they stood behind him because they thought, like my boss thought, that having John in the driver's seat, that we were all going to do better.
Right, because he was a street guy.
But he was a street guy, and he had the respect of everybody else. He was in the trenches. He was a man's man. And, he could understand what we go through on a daily basis, trying to earn money.
Right.
And the other guy didn't. The other guy was more of a businessman.
Right.
And, I only had one dealing with Paul Castellano, and that's when I robbed his car and had to give the money back.
Wow.
I robbed his car, and me and my friends, we found $87,000 in the trunk, and we had to give it back. And that was my only encounter with Paul. But, he didn't give us no finder's fee or anything. He just made us, give the money back, and we were told we had a favor coming. And I know I told somebody this the other day. We cashed in on that favor 1,000,000 times. And then he died a few months later. How we know, we would have tried to keep the money, but then John Gotti would have wanted the money, because that's how the life is, 100%.
Right. So now, when that happened, were you already with Corazzo at that point?
Yeah, I was on record with Nicky. Nicky's the one who called my house the day that I stole the car.
Right.
The night that I stole it, and told me, you guys got to bring this thing back. And he said, listen. He says, I would never ask you to return anything that you steal. Never. But this has to go back, because this is our boss. There's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
And so we did. We followed protocol. We did what we had to do. And, we were scared. We thought that, we were going to get clipped over it or whatever. And, we went to the meeting the next day to deliver the car and give the money back. We went loaded, thinking we were going to go out in a blaze of glory if we had to. But we were happy and fortunate that it didn't.
Right.
We lived to fight another day. And
was Castellano there?
I got to see Bart, his nephew, the kid we robbed the car from, the one who, he had the money at the time in the trunk. He was there. Paul went and spoke to Nicky about it. We didn't get to speak to Paul directly.
Right.
And that's the way that worked out. We got a basket of fruit for our troubles.
That's funny. Well, going back to the John Sr. when he clipped Paul, it's like as much as people criticize John Sr., he's a pretty bright guy to have insulated himself around the media with the cameras and everything, because in a way that kind of protected him from these other families.
It protected him to a point, but had he not got pinched in 91, he would have probably got murdered not too long after.
Right. Yeah, I know. Casso wanted him pretty bad.
Well, Gas Pipe was a deadly, deadly man. He was a deadly guy.
Right.
And, he was the type of guy that, if this guy had a dream about you, you were dead. I mean, this guy he was that much out there. And he was a dangerous guy. He had a dangerous crew of guys around him. And those guys, they killed night and day for him.
Right. Well, and plus he had those two cops murdering for him too,
He had two cops. He had, the kids in his crew around him. All of those guys did work.
Right.
And, Gas was a money guy too. I mean, Gas made a ton of money in the street. Nobody can take that away from him. Call it what you may. He was a psycho. He was this or that. Gas made tons of money. And if you followed a life, the way Gas lived was pretty much the epitome of what it was to be in the street. Made millions of dollars. He did work when he needed to work, but he went off the rails later on, when, he started, I heard rumors that, he was doing certain things or whatever, but when he flipped, I was in shock because, to me, Gas was Gas. Gas was not going to flip. And I remember I had just came home, I was on the work release program, and I had a lot of friends of mine who were Lucchese guys. And I was talking to them, and they were in shock. And I remember seeing Gas's son, and I just looked at him, and I was like, what could you do? I felt bad for the kid because, the kid's walking around, and he's from my neighborhood, and all these other guys, giving him shit or whatever, and I felt bad for the kid, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Unbeknownst to me, I was going to be making the same decision just 2 years later.
Right. Absolutely. When you look at somebody like Sammy Gravano, he kind of didn't have any other choice. I mean, in a way, John kind of outed him in all those tapes. I mean, Well,
the tapes, they pretty much show John wrapping all the murders around Sammy's neck.
Right.
But I don't think that was John's full intention. I just think that's the way he was venting when he was making these comments.
Right.
But Sammy was always, a cunning person, a smart guy. Sammy didn't survive in the street all those years from being a dummy. Call him what you may. A lot of people didn't agree with his decision. But until you're in that situation and you're walking in those shoes and you're put up against it, knowing what your options are, nobody can really say what they're going to do.
Right.
To me, I was embedded in me, in my mind, since a baby, that you hate to be that kind of person who cooperates with the government, whoever talks to the government. In my neighborhood, I never spoke to a cop in my life, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. That was like taboo.
Right.
And then when you realize that you're fed this bullshit, and you're fed these lies, and you're not being this honorable person, and you're just a criminal at the end of the day, and you're faced with these situations, and the guys that you're gonna protect and going through 30 or 40 years for are the same guys that are plotting your demise and plotting your murder. You start to ask yourself, what am I saving them for?
Right.
These guys are looking to peel my skin back, and I'm going to take 40 years on the chin so I can be a 5-minute conversation in a bar somewhere so somebody can say I'm a stand-up guy?
Right. Absolutely. Well, and like you said earlier in the interview, too, it's like everybody's disposable. So at the end of the day, whether, you're in prison or whether you're dead, you're replaced. So it's like...
You're replaced immediately.
Right.
And you know what? Sometimes the replacement is better and sometimes the replacement is worse. But at the end of the day, as long as they have somebody else that they can brainwash to do their dirty work, that's what's going to be. Now, I was that guy. I lived the life. I drank the life. I ate the life my whole life. And then I realized that, here I am. I never had a success story. None of my friends had a success story. Here I am. I'm in and out of jail my whole life. My wife at the time is on welfare. I lost the best years of my son's life. I put my mother through hell by the things I'm doing in the street. I was never a good brother to my sisters because I was never around.
Right.
What kind of man am I now at this point? And then you start to judge yourself. And then you realize, and listen, it wasn't about jail. I'll go through this with you 100 times. I've been in jail my whole life. It was about going and doing jail times for guys that are looking to murder me.
Right. too, it's like you said earlier, it's like, you know, you ask yourself the question about you doing time for them, but would they do time for you? And that's your answer. They wouldn't do a day for you. You know what I mean?
Well, they're not going to do a day for you because of because at the end of the day, what they're going to do is, they're following the protocol and they're going to stand up or whatever, and they're going to do this. And for what? 100 years for a guy who's looking to kill you? Okay, so everybody can say what a great guy you are. Yeah, what a great guy you are. But
Right.
ask your children if you're a great guy because you're not there to support them, and they're sitting at home without a father. And these people don't care. Street don't care. They only
Right.
care about themselves.
Right. Absolutely. Did you know John Alite on the street? Did you know him?
I think I met John Alite maybe once. I think I met him at a wedding. That was it. I had no dealings with Johnny on the street. No.
Okay. Because he was telling me about a plot that Nikki had at some point to take out John Jr.
100%.
So
100%. I'm going to tell you exactly how it went down. Okay? This was right before Nikki got pinched in '96. So I would say it was, within about a week or two before Nikki got locked up in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I was coming into New York to meet them, and what happened was I meet Nikki at this diner, and we're at the diner, and what happens is that we're sitting in the diner, and Nikki tells me and a few other guys that are crew members of mine, and he says, listen, he goes, I'm going to get pinched any day now. He goes, they're going to pinch me. He says, I know, son, I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
He says, so when I do get pinched, he goes, there's going to be a lot of work to do when I'm gone. And he looked at me, he looked at a few other guys in the crew, and he made the sign of the finger like a gun.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, so we're going to start with that baby Huey in Queens. And he was referring to John Gotti Jr.
Right.
And he goes, so if I was you guys, I would start to get a line on this guy's comings and goings. He goes, and that's what we're going to do. He says, and then we'll figure it out. And then he called me over to another table, and he told me, he said, listen, he says, I'm going to be, moving up. That means, Nikki was going to start to take over the Gambino family as a whole, as the boss.
Right.
No more sitting on a panel of three.
Right.
And he says, I'm undecided right now if I'm going to put you with Lenny DiMaria or if I'm going to put you on record with Mike Yanati.
Okay.
Because I didn't decide yet who I'm going to put you with. Now, for me, that was a win-win because I loved Lenny and I had a ton of respect for Mike. We were like brothers in the street growing up.
Right. So Mike was a made man at that point.
Well, Mike was made right about that time